I see a lot of Steve Lonegan signs in the crowd. I met Steve about 6 months ago at a small firehouse in a small town in South Jersey. He was giving a talk on COA. I didn't know much about COA. I wanted to see what he had to say and hear what it was about. And there was only a handful of people there that night. Steve had driven down from his home in North Jersey over 2 hours just to be with a small group of people to educate them on what's going on with their state and how it would affect their town. And I listened to him, and I couldn't believe the fact that he's going to small towns north, central, south, east, and west in this state just to let people know what's happening in their own town. Now, I've also interviewed Steve Lonegan on the air, and I've also interviewed Chris Christie. And I know we need a change in Trenton this year. And hopefully John Corzine will never set foot in this block again after November. And from what I know of the candidates and the ones that I've talked to, Steve Lonegan is the most like you and me. He's been a mayor of a small town for 12 years, and the people re-elected him in an overwhelmingly Democratic town as a Republican because they knew he worked hard, they knew he stood for what they believed in and what was fair and right for them. And I think now, and also being the owner of a business, a small business, he knows what small businesses go through and are being crushed by the state and the federal government. So if you want to start to send a message to Washington, one crushing blow this November would be to put a new person in power, a new person in that governor's seat, someone who represents you and I. And I'm proud to say, in my mind and in my heart, I know that man is Steve Lonegan.
Dennis, thank you very much. Thank you, Dennis Malloy. Thank you, everyone. It is an honor to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, today in America, we find ourselves at a crossroads, a time in our history when we as Americans are going to decide whether or not we're going to take the high road towards liberty and prosperity, a road that has been paved by the sacrifice of our ancestors, a road that has led more human beings to prosperity and freedom than any other road in any other country in the world? Or are we going to take the low road of big government expansion, the low road of bigger federal government, the low road of more government from this building right behind us, the road paved by the entitlement state, a road that will deposit us at the end, our society on the ash heap of history? Today in America, ladies and gentlemen, across this nation, at taxpayer tea parties like this, Americans are seeing a moment of realization that the very core values and the very core principles on which this nation has been built are being challenged like never before in America's history. And the challenge ahead of us is a difficult one. Yes, it is a tough one. And it's never been easy to be an American. No one has ever said it would be easy to stand up for liberty and to stand up for freedom. Our leaders in Washington and our leaders in Trenton think they can make our lives easier with more government programs, with more government entitlement programs. And you know, a few months ago around the country, I saw crowds coming together with a chant. And they said this. They were saying, yes, we can. And what did they mean by that? A lot of those well-meaning Americans really didn't know what they meant when they said, yes, we can. But I know what they meant. They meant, yes, we can make government even bigger. They meant, yes, we can take more of your money. They, yes, meant we can take more of your freedom. And they said, yes, we can, and we'll apologize to the Europeans for what America has done to the world. And they said, yes, we can talk to the governor of the Chinese bank when they say we should replace American currency with some new world currency backed by the Russians. And I say, no, we won't. I have a different chance. That today in America, we are going to stand up for the values and the freedom so hard fought for by our ancestors with their blood and sacrifice, we will stand and fight. And our message is, yes, we will. 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 America will once again rise to its rightful place as leaders of the world, as the beacon for hope and for freedom and for prosperity, better than any other nation on the planet. And the answer does not come from Washington, D.C. It doesn't come from the White House. It doesn't come from this State House. It comes from your homes. It comes from we the people. And we must never forget that. Thank you. God bless you. And thank you for having me here.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for your patriotic stance here today, braving the weather. As I said at the beginning of the rally, and I'll say it again now, there are absolutely no fair weather patriots in this crowd. I can only say for myself, for my family, that I pledge my honor, my fortune, and yes, I'll say it here, my very life, should it be asked of me, in the defense of liberty.